know.
The video
You'll find
took
it.
us all of 5 minutes to record, and it's our most popular video, which is a bit infuriating.
It's like, it's quote unquote cleaning the house before your parents visit for Thanksgiving. And it is incredibly ironic and sarcastic, but Lily and I are essentially like putting away our, again, quote unquote, inappropriate things in the house. So we hide like our bong, you know,
We
by
put
putting flowers
flowers
into it and making it a vase.
I thought you were gonna say like vibrator or something.
Yeah.
There's a vibrator in
There
there.
is, and people really didn't like that.
What's going on, guys? My name's Tarun, Shetty. Welcome to the CONVO SUTRA. Here with another fantastic episode. So excited for my two guests today. And we have our usual panelists, but first, let's do a quick intro for audio listeners.
Hey, my name is Lily Abha Cratsley. I am a playwright and a performer based here in Los Angeles. And this is my comedic partner, Arasha.
Yeah, I'm Arasha. I'm also an actress, an artist. I've been in LA for about 3.5 years. I think we both have about that time.
Moved out together.
yeah. But it's pretty cool being in the scene. And I think we've learned a lot. So we're excited to be here to talk about our show and some of our experiences in LA.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm Pritesh, as you know, actor, comedian, producer. And I'm back.
You guys reached out to me and you forwarded me your show, and I thought it was awesome that you guys are doing your own stuff. I'm a big proponent of making your own content.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to these days, right? Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so much competition right now and in the air of like just waiting
Yeah.
for an opportunity. Like sometimes you'll just be waiting forever.
How I Met Your Masi. Let's get that out there right off the bat. When is this show?
May 30th
May
It's a
30th.
Friday night.
In Los Angeles.
Yeah.
in Los Angeles at the Dynasty Typewriter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great venue.
Yeah, you guys been there?
I've been to the Dynasty
It's
Typewriter.
awesome.
Yeah,
it's such
dope.
a cool theater.
Yeah.
And I mean, specifically, like a reason why we chose that venue as well is because they are also experimenting with new genre-based shows. And they specifically have a setup to live stream, which is what we're also doing. So even though we're obviously going to be performing live on stage, we also are streaming to a global audience.
Yeah, and that recording will be available for purchase on demand also on their streaming platform. So we're kind of thinking of it as a hybrid live show and live taped comedy special.
You're such daisies. Like you actually
yeah.
thought out everything.
We gotta do
live
everything.
stream and it's gonna do this and
Do they think everything
gonna-
else?
it's gonna be-
Yeah, and if we do this, it's a tax write-off, so we got that covered.
and that part.
We actually haven't gotten there yet, so that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So are you like a comedy team? Like how did you guys meet? Give me the backstory.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we can't give away exactly how we met since that is the plot of the show.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But we can say how we started working together.
Yeah, we knew each other before this project socially as friends, and we were both, actors / writers, performers in LA, but we had never actually collaborated until I was asked to come on to a sketch comedy show. And I was told I could build my own team, write my own material. Traditionally, I've written plays, narrative plays. I have a play called ABCD that went up at the Greenway Court Theater, and a play called The Fairy Who Cried Gems, which was in the 2024 Hollywood Fringe Festival.
As a solo show.
That was a solo show, exactly. ABCD is a 3-person play. I had a lovely cast. It was an amazing production, directed by Meher Kaur. But I had never written straight comedy before. These were all sort of dramedies, family narratives. So I was racking my brain, who did I want to bring onto this project? And I realized, Arasha and I had never worked together before. So I called her up. We met up in a restaurant, wrote a sketch that had us cracking up.
Yeah.
Performed it. It was a huge success.
Yeah.
And we realized that we really had something here.
Totally. And funny enough, that is the last sketch in this upcoming show.
Yes.
So we basically backtracked and finished writing all the beginnings
You found
of the
the
show.
end of the race and then...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we as we were writing, we discovered that we were like, first of all, we loved working together. We were like, in a writer's room, I feel like you want to find somebody that you can collaborate with in a way that's like open and fun. And like we have a lot that we relate to. We have a lot in common and stuff that we also like challenge each other in the best way. And that made for really good comedy. So we
Yeah.
continued to do that and kind of build this whole universe, as we call it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Both of you have very distinct backgrounds
Yes.
of performance. Like you're a playwright, By the
Yeah.
way, you go to Groton
I
boarding
did
school?
go to Groton.
I went to boarding school too. So
Oh my gosh, where'd you go?
I went to Holderness, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Get
I
out. You went
applied
to, I
there.
didn't even know you went to boarding. You went to boarding school?
Did you go to boarding school?
No.
Oh, thank God. Okay, so
No.
we're on the same page here. I was like,
No,
I can't
I
be here.
have no boarding school trauma.
It
at
is
all.
a very
Good.
intense,
Yeah.
intense
So-
experience
yeah.
as a young brown person
Yeah.
going to boarding
Absolutely,
school.
absolutely. So I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but when I read, I was like, oh my God, she probably has a lot I can relate to. I just, you're Daisy?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so the expectations, going to boarding school and having to do certain things, and then you're a playwright. I mean, did you feel that pressure?
Oh, 100%. I vividly remember the first time I told my Nana I was going to be a theater major,
Yeah.
and I was terrified. His immediate reaction was, okay, and what's the other major?
Yeah.
What's your backup plan?
Exactly.
yeah.
What was my double
Yeah.
major? And I'm very grateful that my family always really supported me, encouraged me being in the arts when I was growing up. But it definitely was always, I felt a slight caveat
Yes.
of, okay, but what is that fallback
Yes,
going to
yes.
be? And it wasn't really until I think my play ABCD, stands for American Born Confused Daisy, as you all probably
Yeah.
know, that I think they really started to understand that I could have a career
American
in this.
boarding school confused Daisy.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. That'll be the sequel. It really wasn't until ABCD and getting that first professional production done that they, I think, started to understand that, like, I really had something and there was a career to be had here. I say all that, and I do also have a day job. So.
You're making your grandparents proud still. A little
Exactly.
bit.
I find a way.
It's for them.
And so, yes, it definitely was a lot of pressure, but I do feel very grateful that they, like, my family was always at all of
Yeah.
my shows and always there to support. And ABCD, we had to do a lot of crowdfunding. They donated. So
Yeah.
they've been supportive, but it always was, they have my best interest in mind, and they look out for me and wanted to make sure I had a backup for sure.
That's terrific. And you were in Boston, right? You were in Emerson. That's a great performance school.
Totally.
A lot of famous people have come out of that school.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, I like to say that Emerson, I think, was meant for me because I didn't really at first really want to go there. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I had wanted to go to California.
Where did you
for
guys both
school.
grow up, by the way?
I'm from Texas,
Okay.
San Antonio.
I'm from Boston, so we met in Boston.
Yeah. I went to school at Emerson, so I was there for about 4 years. But she and I joke all the time that, like, I'm often like, oh yeah, I'm an East Coaster now too.
Yeah.
She's not.
I'm from New Hampshire, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So
Yeah.
we're all
Only
from the
India
East
from
Coast.
New Hampshire. That's a state you forget exists.
My mom lives in New Hampshire.
Okay, well there you go. There's
There you
two.
go.
We're in New Hampshire.
She's in Wyndham.
I'm from Whitney. I'm not.
I was about to say, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, so I spent 4 years in Boston and then ended up coming out to LA anyway. And Emerson has been so great because there's so many people from Emerson out
Yeah.
here. What we call, like, the alumni network is the mafia. And the mafia is truly in LA. Like, usually every set that I'm on, at least one person is like, I went to Emerson,
Yeah.
So it serves as a really good place to connect and kind of have this, like, common ground before
Yeah.
we end up
I didn't even
working
think about that
together.
because when I think of like alumni network mafia, I think of USC.
Oh.
Yeah, my sister got her MBA there.
Yeah.
But like that, they stay tight.
Totally.
That USC program doesn't mess around.
Yeah,
That
I
money
wanted
comes
to
with
go
a
to
lot
USC.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Totally. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I just really wanted to be in LA, I think. But
Yeah.
again, I'm really grateful that I went to Emerson because I don't think I would have had that experience on the East Coast ever had I not gone there.
I think living in the East Coast is a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
I met some sales clerk I was talking to at like Lululemon, and she was like, I might go to Boston. And I was like, you definitely need to get out of LA and just experience the East Coast vibe. Just for
Yeah.
at least a year. It's a different thing. You should go.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm actually good
sure,
on that.
eventually,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, I'm good. I visited. It's not for me.
Fair enough.
If I'll move there if it's for a gig. I'd love to move there. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I love SoCal.
That's what I've been manifesting personally for myself.
Yeah.
Like, I used to never really be a New York girly.
Yeah.
But these days I'm like, I think I really want, like, I feel like I've been hearing
Yeah.
a lot of people talking about their experiences in New York and being like, oh, I love New York. New York is the best time of my life. I want to get in on that.
I lived in New York. I could see you there.
Yeah?
For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can also just visit though, too,
Visiting is when I don't like it. Visiting,
Really?
I
yeah.
disagree.
I love visiting it.
Yeah.
But I like the culture. It's like a very big drinking culture. It's cold. I feel like I feel like people in LA, as chill as it is, it's a big city and people are moving fast enough here. New York's insane to me. It's like robots. No one looks like people walking double. The homeless people walk faster. I'm like, where are you going? I mean, it's like, what's happening?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like everyone's on, I don't know. It's just, it's a lot.
The pace is
New York,
different.
it also depends when you go. If you go like
Yeah.
mid-February, like this is miserable. But if you go like July, it's like, oh my God, this is like paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It differs for sure.
Yeah. And it stinks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I don't
saying.
like, I don't
That's
like,
fair,
I don't
that's
like
fair.
smells, bro. That sewer system's
like
messed up, bro.
smells.
I walked around. I was like, what is, what's, it literally is like in the movies when the steam comes out of the sewer.
That's New York, though. So it makes it good.
Yeah, you wouldn't survive in New York.
See, that's what
I'm
I'm
not gonna
saying.
survive. I'm good.
Right. That's what I'm saying is if you live there, you're like,
Yeah.
my place.
I need to be on like a 26th floor penthouse to
Sure.
survive that. I need to be rich.
No, I'm
to
with
live
you there. I
Yeah, I'm
am.
good on the other crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no
yeah.
light without darkness.
Okay. All right, Buddha. Let's go back to other stuff.
So you're a playwright, and
Yes.
you're currently on a show on Smosh, which is probably one of the biggest YouTube channels out there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been around for
Yeah.
a while, which I really think is where they grew in accolades. You know, it started off also as something different. It was kind of just these two guys, our founders, who were just making silly sketches and doing their thing. But you know, it's interesting because I think what they did is what is continued to prove successful in the industry, which is just adapt very quickly to the new things that are introduced to us. And for them, it was YouTube, right?
Yeah.
They hopped on immediately. They started filming and uploading. And so they were one of the first people that people were like, oh.
Was this like the late
this is content.
2000s? Is that when they started?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I think
wow.
we just celebrated, I think we just celebrated our 15 years. But I just joined the cast about 3 years ago.
Did you audition, or did they find you from your
Both a little bit. I like to say it was a little bit of an accident how I ended up at Smosh. You know, you guys are familiar with like Actors Access, right? Like
Yeah,
the
sure.
kind of actor job board. I had gotten a message from the casting director at the time. And she had said, you know, the writers are requesting you. Like, can you send in a little like self-tape? And I had been in LA for all of like 5 or 6 months. So I was like, why are they requesting me? Like, what do I have to show?
I hate you, by the way. That's great, but you hustled really hard. That's not like you just came in cold.
I mean,
Yeah.
a little. I guess
Yeah.
I had done a couple of short films.
Yeah.
That had been like mostly my portfolio. So I was like, well, if the writers are requesting me, I'm
Yeah.
absolutely gonna audition. I hadn't watched Smosh personally. I think I must have like skipped a little bit and I didn't really see the old Smosh. I saw maybe a couple of like clips here and there and I'd heard of Ian and Anthony, but I wasn't like a fan. But I knew the brand, and when I'd seen this message, I was like, of course, it's Smosh. I have to audition,
Yeah.
you know? I believe the first round I had just
I
sent
don't
in
audition.
something.
I've been here 5 months. I do not audition.
I do not audition for only. So I sent in something and then they invited me into the studio. And truthfully, like when I went to the studio, it was still hundreds of people.
Yeah.
There was still so many rounds of auditions that we went through. Like
She's like, I thought it was
callbacks.
just going to be me.
Right. I was like, you guys requested me. So we went through all these different rounds. We played like games and we did improv stuff and all this stuff. It ended up lasting a couple of months. Eventually, when I booked the job, I had talked to the writers and I was like, so like, what had you guys seen of me? Like, who requested me? What's going on here? And they were like, oh, we didn't request you. Apparently, like the casting director had just sent that message to a few people that it didn't necessarily
that's
belong
funny.
to.
Okay.
So it was a little bit of a happenstance there.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously it was where I was meant to be because once I
Happy
showed up
accident.
there, yeah, I clearly was like, I need to book this. And it now feels like something that's so fitting for me. While at first I was like, I am not a YouTuber and I'm not really in the digital space. It now seems like that is what I really assigned to be like my first big breakout here in LA.
So how have these experiences as a playwright, as your sketch background, Smosh, et cetera, how has that contributed to your show coming up on the 30th?
Totally. We really feel like the strength of How I Met Your Masi as a brand, as a partnership is in those different backgrounds. I really feel like we both come in with such unique skills and experiences that really benefit the product as a whole. And so the show itself really sits between lines of a stage production and a screen production because it's being taped for that sort of live comedy special. And so, I have more experience in the stage work and making things live for an audience. And she has a lot of experience in front of the camera and that background. I also have a lot of experience writing specifically in plays, and she has a ton of experience in this improv world that they do on Smosh. So those backgrounds have really benefited us. In addition, there's also in the marketing of it, I have a very sort of local audience, and I have connections with people in the industry I've worked with locally in LA, but Arasha has this amazing global fan base.
Yeah.
And so she's so good at all that social media stuff that I'm terrified of. I literally had a private Instagram account before Arasha convinced me to make it public.
Yeah.
I'm very new to that world.
Why is that?
I am just like, I'm one of those people who's like scared of AI, scared of robots, saw Terminator too young. I just don't love the public feeling like they get to know about my personal life, but I'm getting better about
You're
it.
such a writer, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very
I'm
writer thing to say.
There was a world in which I considered making my first play ABCD under a pen name because I was so scared of like the public knowing who I was. But through Arasha, I've learned to come to appreciate that, and that it can actually like, first off, it's incredibly beneficial for my career, but also that it can be really exciting to sort of proudly stand forward in my name and my face and my identity. I think it does a lot for the community, and specifically I'm half white, half Indian, and I think we don't get a lot of biracial narratives. So I like being able to like stand proud in my Desi identity and my biracial identity as representation for others, and she brought that out in me.
I was going to ask you, can you say your last name again?
Cratsley.
Cratsley. So what's the background there? Is that...
So my dad is white and my mom is Indian. And Cratsley, we oddly enough have no clue whether it is like Scottish, Dutch, or English.
I've never heard it before. That's why I want to...
I guess I have never heard anyone else have that last name, but we don't know. So one of those like mix of white things.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Love that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with what Lily said about kind of, what we both do kind of bring to the table. And that relates in a way too of like, definitely the digital content stuff I agree with, like the social media aspect and everything that we have built on Instagram and TikTok, like that stuff has definitely, I felt, has helped with promotion of the show and kind of establishing us as like a duo out there. So that way it's not just like a random show that's popping up on your radar. Lily really has introduced me to the South Asian community out here. I feel like growing up, I was hiding from a lot of that in Texas.
We're in Texas.
In San Antonio. So there definitely was an Indian community out there, but I had always felt different. I had felt isolated from that. I certainly was one of the only performers in my community. And when I left for college, I really left a lot of that behind.
Were your parents involved in the Indian community?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're a very specific sect inside of Islam. We're Ismailis.
Okay.
So there's like, we have a pocket of a community, but again, just not one that I felt like I necessarily belonged to. And when I met Lily, it was a little bit of a shocker as well, because this was the first other Indian person that was kind of now entering into my circle. And when I moved to LA, that continued to be the case where I wasn't really surrounding myself with other brown creatives. So when Lily and I started working together, she really introduced me to like Asian AF and South Asian AF and all of these creatives that were Indian, and there were people that were like me, and truthfully, that's what I feel the most emotionally driven by in this show, is that I've never seen other South Asian actors. So seeing them on stage with me, I finally feel like I see myself, and I would never have done that if I hadn't partnered with Lily.
How do you perceive South Asian culture here in Los Angeles? Because I kind of have I've kind of seen it change.
Wait. In general or comparative to East Coast or something?
When I came to LA, I think you've experienced it. It's changed dramatically.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious how new voices see the scene. Like, what was your interpretation of the South Asian scene here in Los Angeles?
Totally. Yeah. I think that I came into the sort of South Asian industry in Los Angeles, I think a little bit naive, thinking that everyone was for the culture and everyone was going to be really passionate about like supporting me and my peers and uplifting us. And I slowly was a little bit disillusioned that it's really just like a microcosm for everything that's happening in the industry in general. Don't get me wrong. I've met a million people who are so for the culture and so supportive of each other. And you can call them up and ask for a favor and they'll be there in a second. But also I had to realize that not everyone was interested in making culturally specific work. Not everyone was interested in associating with the community. And sometimes folks liked to align themselves with sort of like white rich executives more than their own community. And that was a little disappointing to me, I think. I grew up in a small city in Massachusetts where I was one of like 3 Indian kids in my grade. So I never really had a strong Indian community.
Where in Massachusetts?
Leominster, Massachusetts. Okay. Yeah, super random. Okay. But I never really had that community. And coming out here at first, I was just surrounded by all these amazing Desi women who uplifted me. And ABCD is a play of all women. And so we all just had such a brilliant time and all the different versions we've done of it. And then when I started to expand out of that circle, sort of learning that not everyone was as ready to like wear culture proudly. That was a bit disappointing to me, but I think what it's just taught me is to recognize that we all have our different relationships to our culture and that not one is right or wrong, but like I know who I want to align with. And I've really decided that I want to align with people who are very proud of being Desi and want to like rise up together.
Sure.
That's really my mindset. Like if I'm going to go up, I better bring everyone else with me.
Yeah.
Well, it's great that you guys found each other, number one. But I've always found like South Asians, you have to find the right person, the right team. Because I feel like there are very competitive. I think that South Asian competitiveness, and you can disagree with me here, it's still naturally, intrinsically inside of us, right? It's a zero-sum game.
Hollywood's competitive nature.
Exactly.
We're in a world where it's reject. Like you have to get outside of just
But
humans
Indians
first.
take it to like level 10.
I'm not denying that. I'm just saying the nature of the industry we're in is that as a human, I don't care what color you're or what culture you're. I'm like, it's competitive. It's people are dealing with their own traumas, where they came from. Usually, regardless of culture, lack of support system to be in the creative arts, right? So like that happens. It does happen, but I do think that when you find someone, I always tell him, I'm like, when you find a business partner, that's like harder to find than a romantic partner that you can trust for real. Because I have a buddy like that too, and it's like, who are you going to trust? Because not only are you trusting yourself creatively, which is massively vulnerable. Which is intimacy, right? But then it's also like finances and business and other things that come along with it. And you're like, you really got to trust this person. Because I've been in bad business situations where like this person felt like a brother, and now it's bad.
Totally.
Like it's really bad.
I would say in terms of the competition aspect of it, it does make sense in Hollywood, right? Because right now, I mean, Asian is trendy to them a little bit. And so more shows are being created where there are more roles written for us. But most of the time, there's only 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. And so if that's the case, and there's a whole like lineup of South Asian creatives out here, it's going to be a little competitive to get that one role. But, you know, bringing it into the situation with Lily and I, like, I have felt this way toward the beginning. Like, I really don't feel competitive.
Yeah, because you make your own stuff.
Yeah,
which I love.
It feels just like in a way that changes my view of Indians, because I began very competitive. I felt like I needed to stand out from my group of friends. I needed to be better in whatever that meant for me as a kid. But now my best friend is another Indian woman, and I don't feel any other way other than to uplift her and continue to be like, I found something out, let me share it with you. Yeah. She found something out, let me share it with me. And I love what you said about finding a good business partner too, because you know what I always say with Lily too is that she matches my freak.
What does that mean?
She matches my freak
That got
because
intimate quick. No, it was really
mostly in the way of like our work hustle. Like I feel like I've worked with lots of people on different projects, and I have been the one who's like, okay, like I would really like to spend like a few more hours on this, even though we've both had long days. Like I really do think that it would be helpful to do that. Or like, okay, if you don't want to work, that's fine. I'll just do some work on my own. And I've never found somebody who's like same. Yeah. Like Lily will also just be
hustle.
like, well, I made some spreadsheets while I was on this flight. And I'm like, and that's my love language.
Yeah, I have a spreadsheet problem. I'm obsessed with spreadsheets.
That's good. Hey, that's good for this
We're
organization.
organized to a fault, maybe.
Yeah. We plan a little too much, but it works.
Hey, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, well, it's not too much because you both agree on it. Mm-hmm. It's only too much comparatively, right? Yeah. So it's like, if you find like the writer I work with, who's a very close friend of mine, and we've written projects together. He's the main writer, but it's like he gets me and I get him, and he's a person, if I could call him at like midnight, be like, dude, I have an investor meeting. Like, I need to get this together. He'll do it. It won't be like, I need 3 days. Like, why would you tell me right now?
Yeah.
He gets my intention. I don't have to over-explain myself.
Totally.
You're telling me it's important. It's important. Let's get it done.
Knowing that everything will get done, because like if I fall short, like she can go do it independently. If she falls short, don't worry, I got it. You got pulled into a meeting. I'll send these emails we got to send.
Feels like we're both trying to maximize
Yeah.
and promote, create, build, and uplift all at the same time.
When you get into your show, it's not like you're doing it for the first time. There's been different iterations of it through a couple months. Can you talk about that for a little bit?
What we have kind of been doing actually is performing little bits of the show.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like we said, it's a sketch comedy show that does have a through line. So it becomes, in a way, a little bit of a narrative play. So we have kind of broken it down and we've performed individual sketches.
The live Instagram reel versions. You guys have little clips.
You know, digitally, sometimes we've posted little bits of it, but a lot of the stuff that we've posted on our social media usually has nothing to do
It's
with the show.
completely random, just to build our
Interesting.
following.
Exactly.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Just like comedy
But
stuff.
your
We
film
follow the
stuff
trends.
is really impressive. We talked about this on FaceTime a little bit. Whoever's shooting your sketches.
Punya Chatterjee.
We have to plug our guy.
Punya Chatterjee. Hire Punya Chatterjee.
But also let us have him still.
No, honestly,
That's awesome.
very,
He's
very,
brilliant.
very professional, very well written. I want to get into like the differences doing that versus your show. I feel like you guys could easily do more live stuff and have your own TV show if you wanted it.
Funny
that
you
you say
mention
that.
it.
I love you guys all talk at the same time.
No, we will
Clearly
constantly
the
do
partnership
that.
works.
No,
Yeah.
we freak people out in meetings when we do that, and we have to separate for a few days.
Yeah. We're using How I Met Your Masi. We really see it as proof of concept for a
Yeah.
television show.
Yeah.
And so we're in process on a pilot. But we really do see this project going into the TV world.
Yeah.
And we really, the product that we're doing right now, this production is its own full thing. It's not just proof of concept. It's something we're passionate about and excited about and think is a really effective, interesting way to tell the How I Met Your Masi story.
Yeah.
But we do see it transitioning quite well into TV as a multi-season thing, a continuation of the story we're beginning.
Totally.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. It helps us so much. Thanks. I guess this is a question for everybody. Is there a line of how much to put on social media? Sometimes I get too much from people, like where they think they know me.
What do you mean? Too much in what way?
I guess overexposed.
Oversharing?
Yeah, because she had her stuff on private, and now she's available. And
Yeah.
now you guys are both pretty girls, so I'm sure guys hit you up all the time.
We definitely struggle a lot with like comments, or I shouldn't say I'd say it's been very
We
new
thrive
for me.
on comments.
Yeah.
Receiving comments. We get our fair amount of hate, but honestly, a lot of the hate is either sexist or racist. And so we can kind of just laugh about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My favorite comment is, "This is why you shouldn't send your women to college."
Really?
Wow.
That's actually kind of funny.
No, we
Exactly.
loved it.
So we don't report those. We keep those up. But we also, of course, have people commenting racist things or commenting on our appearance in negative ways, also in positive ways. So the comment game is a very difficult thing to process. And I was quite new to it, having been so hidden from social
You
media
have to
before.
not read them.
That's part of it. But I
difficult.
think
I know.
Arasha has really taught me a lot about dealing with
I
those
print
comments.
them out. I put a hang
He
them up.
sleeps
Put
with
them
them.
on
He
your
puts them on, he
mirror.
puts them on the ceiling. He's
love
ceiling
it.
and he meditates on them. He goes, okay.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, totally. I think in the game of Smosh, that has definitely always been something that I feel like I have learned now. I mean, 3 years later, I'm at the place of like, don't listen to the comments. But at the beginning, I was definitely like seeing it as feedback.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it being like, okay, well, if this is what people want, then this is what we
They
should
don't
give
know
them.
anything.
But it's not even this like
Right.
one keyboard warrior who is so miserable in their own
Who
life.
has never left their
would
house.
I
Right.
always say like everyone has an opinion, but very few people have constructive criticism.
Totally.
Like there's still people who yell at LeBron because they think he can't play basketball. I'm like, who are you?
Right.
Yeah.
You have nothing but an opinion.
I believe
Like-
the saying is like, if you wouldn't take advice from them, why are you taking criticism?
It's true that no press is bad press in that it totally drives engagement. Our most popular video probably has like 50 million views now.
Which video is this?
It's a
Why are you
Tarun's just waiting to comment. That's why he's going
No,
to
this video
You'll
took
find it.
us all of 5 minutes to record, and it's our most popular
love it.
video, which
Which
is
video?
a bit infuriating.
It's like it's quote unquote cleaning the house before your parents visit for Thanksgiving. And it is incredibly ironic and sarcastic, but Lily and I are essentially like putting away our, again, quote unquote, inappropriate things in the house. So we hide like our bong, you know,
We
by
put
putting flowers
flowers
into it and making it a vase.
I thought you were gonna say like vibrator or something.
There's a vibrator in
There
there.
is, and people really didn't like that.
And we put the vibrator with the gaming controllers like out in public. Obviously very silly. We put the condoms in the
Click
drawer.
on that as a guide, like okay.
Right, but the comments have sparked so much controversy of how dare women have a vibrator? How dare women exist?
Yeah.
How dare these two be roommates or sisters or Jewish sisters? And we're like, why are you getting that from this video?
Yeah, but it's like that's the thing. You'll get that no matter what you are, what you look like. If it's dudes, like, oh, typical douchebag assholes, right? You get those comments. We had one video go, the one where I was just like, when I go to India, I kind of talk in an accent so I can communicate better. And half the comments, it went viral, and half the comments are like, you hate yourself. You're like all this. I'm like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's just hilarious.
You
This
really
shit.
can't win.
If it's gone viral, you've won.
But you also, but I think you're talking more like internally, right? In a way.
More just
Yeah.
like you will never please everybody, you know? And so I've kind of learned on every appearance, every public appearance I've done, I really try to center myself and be like, I'm not going to think about what I'm saying to service other people. I'm just going to make sure I'm having a good time. I'm having
It's
fun
not your
and being
job
present.
to. Pleasing people's not that's not your job. Long as your intention is not to intentionally hurt someone or something like that, then like how you take it, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's on you. That's your own responsibility.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think you also really need to know your audience.
Yeah.
Like when we're doing, for example, like a live stage show, we really do know who that audience is and who we're trying to reach. And those are the people we can tell to come to the theater and invite to the show. Social media is a whole different game because there's no invite, right?
Yeah.
Anyone in the world has
it's out
access to it. So as long as you know the audience that you are making the content for and that you think will find it funny and you target it towards them, like, sure, we can please them. Like, the reality of social media is everyone else also
I
has
can
access.
tell you love spreadsheets. I can tell this girl loves spreadsheets. The way she talks, she goes, no, you have to know your audience.
Per user, per comment,
I love it.
per like.
The Virgo is strong in this one,
I
dog.
am a Virgo.
I know.
Oh my God.
I can tell you.
Damn.
It's too obvious.
All right.
We do have some non-Desi people who watch this. So what does Masi mean for our non-Desi viewers?
So it sort of means ant. But as you guys know, within the community, there's a very specific word per person. So you can't just kind of generally say ant. But
Which is the dopest part.
yeah,
I love it. I
You
think
know
it makes things
exactly who
clear.
someone. I tell all my friends that are. I'm like, no. Kaka means like my dad, my
Yeah, right.
mom's, my
This
dad's
is
brother, my
Bobby.
dad.
This is-
Yeah,
yeah,
it's so sick,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So Masi is specifically your mother's sister. And in our culture, right, sister extends to what
Friends.
people would call like cousins or
Yeah.
friends, anyone of that generation. So your mother's sister, essentially. But aunt is a great way to put it.
Yeah, but you know, sort of not knowing is a little bit of the discovery that the show will bring, kind of being like, okay, I think it's about how these two met each other, but how is that supposed to come together and what exactly do they mean? So it really is almost like hard to talk about the plot because it's so much of just like sit down and see what you're gonna get
Yeah.
and then you'll understand.
For the audience, so it's like
Yes.
a sketch show about your relationships, and it's comedy and
It's a sketch comedy show
Okay.
about two seemingly completely different women and how they build something really special together. That's maybe the most general way I could put it. We like to say it's how
that's
to...
the clip. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's like, please just say
Just
it so I
say
can cut
how
it.
I
Thank
can
you
grab
very
it.
much.
There's a soundbite.
Our two little cute sound bites would be that it's the story of how two foes became hoes.
Hey.
But then we
Or-
already got a hate comment of somebody being like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Is
Who
that
cares? Who cares?
is that the
Yeah,
byline?
we were
How
like, exactly.
Well, it became a host. Is that the?
Foes became hoes is one of them, yeah.
Okay.
And then we also have how their friendship turned from icy to spicy.
There you go.
pretty good."
There you go. You're
Pretty
still
good.
gonna get hate somehow on that one.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be like
They
spicy,
find
really?
Spicy? Is that because you're Indian? That's so racist.
Exactly. Like we're Indian.
But one thing, when you're talking about the Masi, the one thing I always tell my friends too, I love the fact that everyone in our culture is auntie or uncle because I know no one's name.
Oh yeah.
I like, we'll have people, I'm like, hey auntie, I have no idea what your name is.
Oh my god, uncle, so good to
Like
see
for,
you.
for 15 years, I've been saying auntie and uncle. You don't need to know people's names. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Have you guys reached uncle status though? Are people calling
First of
you
all,
it yet?
disrespectful.
That's
Let's just get out the
insane.
way.
I'm asking because
Very
I've been called
disrespectful.
auntie. I'm way
Because
too young for that.
The answer is yes, but I don't. I don't need reminders about that.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
because a lot of my friends have kids, and they're like, I go over and I forget that I'm like Pritesh Kaka,
Oh
and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm Kaka. All right,
no, it's tough.
I don't mind that so much. The only time it bugs me is like I'm like invisible to certain like age demographics now. I'm like,
How so?
I used to like walk down the street and I'd see like girls checking me out. Now like they don't even like check me out. They were like, who's this like Uncle Jed?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm invisible to you. I'm like, what? I'm here. Hello.
What did it look
Say
like?
anything,
What did
huh?
it look like to have like girls checking you out?
Back in the day?
Yeah.
It was
what's-
awesome.
What's that look like?
Oh.
just a
Do
little
it
eye.
again, Doug?
No. You know how girls are. You can just tell. Even when a guy likes you, you can just tell when someone's like
It's a
checking you
look.
out. Yeah, it's a look.
It's a
look,
look.
a
It's
look.
not a look of just like normal
You
human.
must
Like a
get this.
linger.
You know what it is, Arasha.
You know the sizzle in the eye.
I don't
You know
know.
what I'm talking
I
about?
might not have seen it.
Oh, please stop.
Please.
I've seen people do it to her. She's lying.
Both of you.
Hey, Tarun, I have a question though.
Yeah.
What do your niece? You have niece and nephew, right?
Niece and nephew.
What do they call you?
They call me Tarun uncle.
Oh, they don't use the uncle. Oh, they don't use the Indian term, kaka.
No, they're half white.
Hey, I use the terms though.
Yeah.
Isn't your sister-in-law like a yoga teacher and like super into
Yeah,
anything?
but
Yeah.
you know, it was never like forced. My brother's really liberal too. He doesn't care. So it was never say this, say that.
Do you care?
No.
Okay.
They can call me whatever they want, honestly.
Do you guys use those words for your siblings? Do you have siblings?
I have a younger sister. She calls me Bai.
Okay, yeah.
And the funny thing, Bai, if you don't, Bai just means brother.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because when my friends would see, I'm like, dude, she's never said my name unless she's telling someone what my name is. It would be so awkward for me if she's like, hey, Pritesh. I'm like, excuse me?
Yes.
Like, show some respect, yo.
I have the exact same
Yeah.
experience. I have an older brother, and I grew up calling him Bhaiya.
Yeah.
And when he's only 2 years older than me, so
Yeah.
when we were eventually in the same schools, like he would be like, cut the Bhaiya shit out. Like we can't
Really?
be
Yeah.
saying that. And I was like, I don't want to say Bhaiya either. That's like freaking embarrassing. So I would call him dude. Or like,
That's
like I'd be like,
hilarious.
hey,
so funny.
dude.
That's the older bit
dude,
younger sister thing to say, hey, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude. Like straight up calling him from downstairs. I'm like, dude, your friends are here. And my mom and dad were like, please don't do that.
I love Bai though. I think it's very endearing.
Yeah.
I think it's full of a lot of love. And my sister and I are very, very close. So I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
We say Ana and Akka.
Yeah.
But I never say that.
What does Kunal call you? Just Tarun?
Hey, dickhead, come over here. no, it's Tarun. Yeah.
Like my boyfriend, he's not Indian, but he's always like,
Both of you have boyfriends. This podcast is over. All right, get out. We're done.
Right. And neither of them are Indian. So
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
How did that happen?
Foes to hoes,
By
bro.
accident.
Yeah, no big deal. My boyfriend is Asian. He's just not South Asian.
Okay.
But he
That
is.
counts something.
Yeah, he's,
Okay,
he's somewhat in there.
brag.
Yeah, no big, no
They both have
biggie,
good
I
credit. They both
guess.
have good credit.
Brag,
So
I
continue.
guess.
Yeah.
But he's constantly confused. He's like, who is mama? Who is mommy? Who is Anna? Who is
Especially
uncle?
the mama's part because it sounds like mom or mom.
yes.
So that's the one thing I'm like, no. These are my mom's brothers
Right,
that I'm calling
yeah.
mama because they're like, this is odd. What's going on with your culture? You know?
100%.
Yeah,
It's incredibly confusing.
You force them to go to your shows.
They're
very
both,
supportive.
They're both a
Yeah.
part of it. They're involved in
they
a
part of
way.
it? Are they
Yeah,
performers?
I mean,
Are they artists too?
they
Yes.
are. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So it's interesting.
Look at her smile. She's in love. That's a woman that's a smile. Man.
Yeah.
You say
She's,
boyfriend, she's like,
oh,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
have a boyfriend.
she's like newer in the relationship.
That's why you
so
can
she's
tell.
she's a little honeymoon over
yeah,
there.
she's been in it. She's like, it's
Yeah,
whatever.
like, oh yeah, he's involved. No, of course. They've both like helped in lots of different ways, like lots of really big roles in the show, but also just like when we're doing a shoot, they're like, I'll hold the reflector.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
They're constantly our PAs on
That's so
everything.
funny.
yeah.
For me personally, I can't have people. If I'm dating someone, I'm like, all right, you do your shit, I'll do my shit. Otherwise, it gets
Yeah.
too messy for
Yeah.
me.
I was super intimidated at first to date another person in the industry. My previous relationship was someone in a completely different sort of area. And it was intimidating at first to me because I think to get back to that competition thing, you worry about like, is my career's going at a faster pace or theirs is? How's that going to
I
feel?
mean, that's a solid point.
Yeah, but I think I felt lucky that like we're in slightly different parts of the industry. Like I'm a writer, he's a dancer, actor, like slightly different things. And what I actually found really amazing about it is that you get to support each other in a different way because you both understand the industry.
That's what I was going to Tarun always mentions that about like, because I'm in a new relationship, like, I think.
Congrats.
girlfriend, 2 months.
Podcast over.
2 months. No, but she's in the business as well. She also has like a nursing background and stuff, but she's in the business. And it is true though, because you were right, Tarun, actually, because she does just get it. Certain things she just gets that I don't have to explain.
Yeah.
What kind
About-
of nurse is she?
She did like her hospice nurse evaluations and
Oh
things,
my
but she's an
gosh.
actress as well.
Yeah,
She was
my-
just on The Rookie, The Pit.
She's a
like, she had
hospice nurse.
evaluator.
Okay.
So dude, she's gonna watch this and kill me because I have to tell him like I still don't know what the hell you do really.
Yeah.
She'll go like if a patient is dealing with, she'll evaluate if they're
I know what that
supposed
is.
to be in hospice, whatever.
Yeah.
But yes, it's interesting because she's grounded from that, I feel like, without being too artsy wootsy, like all over the place, which is like not attractive to me. Head in the clouds, but your feet don't touch the ground.
Sure.
But her feet still touch the ground, which I find and she's Latina, so she's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that part's good. Yeah.
My boyfriend's actually also a nurse.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he's an oncology nurse and he's also an actor.
There you
so
go.
that same split, which
Yeah.
is I think very rare to find. But
It is.
similarly, yeah, he's doing a lot of like the medical dramas and stuff as well. It's funny the story that we always tell too. He booked this one medical show because the sides that they had given, like there was a drug that you have to give, and it was incorrect in the
And he's
sides.
like, excuse me.
And in his slate, he was like, actually, you guys got this wrong and like did it right. And so we always joke that like he obviously booked the job, but the casting director definitely stormed into the writer's room and they were like, fucking
But
idiots.
that's really important.
Yeah.
I told her, I'm like, you should just go into consulting for this stuff too. Because
Totally.
you know what you're talking about.
I think my main thing is like with self-tapes, it's great to have
Built-in
somebody that
reader.
knows. And then a reader. Yeah, you've got a reader
But some
all the
people
time.
don't like doing self-tapes with their partner.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah,
it makes
yeah.
them like, they know you too well almost, where it's like I don't like when stand-up, when I perform stand-up.
Oh, God.
And your partner's them first, I'm like, great.
Yeah.
I'm going to get notes on this.
Right.
Just the way you came out, you're really aggressive. You're like, can it just be me?
Yeah.
Damn, you
I
know?
mean, in a way, I feel like they already know you more than anybody else. So they can
Yeah.
also give you that feedback of
Yeah.
like, because in stand up, that's another great instance of it really is just you.
Yeah.
Right? You're just going on there
Yeah.
and you're being exactly who you are. People
Yeah.
are perceiving you by face value.
Yeah.
So you have your partner who knows you
Yeah.
deeper that can be like, hey, why are you wearing a leather jacket? That's not you.
Yeah, but
You know?
I feel like it's important though with that to have really healthy boundaries around the notes. Like I always have to do this with my older sister because she's always ready to give me a note in like a very loving way, but try to be like, hey, I'm actually not looking for notes on this. Like
Yeah.
I want
Oh
you
my
to
God.
come, I want you to support, I want you
But
to laugh
that's
super
important to be
loud.
able to say.
Yeah.
Because not everyone, sometimes I think there's a guilt that comes with saying that. Like, I'm not open to your input, but I think you don't have to be guilty if you don't want to be open to input.
Creative stuff, people who have no business giving you notes will give you
Will
notes.
always give you
You're
notes.
like, dude, I'm not asking for your input here. Like,
Yeah.
You've never written a script. Why am I taking input from you?
well, that's
Yeah.
in general. People who don't make stuff will give you notes. Like, dude, do it yourself if you feel so strongly about it.
Totally.
But I actually agree. I think I went out with a comedian once and I felt like I could say anything. I have to filter my thoughts a lot, but I was like, oh, wow, this is what it's like actually just speaking honestly without her running out the door. I can just be myself. So it's nice to have.
Totally. And they get the grind, you know?
Yeah.
It's a hustle in the industry and I don't know. I feel like in LA these days too, so many people are some sort of form of the industry. I mean, even if they are doing something that isn't acting, they might be making TikToks about whatever they're doing
That's a
and
good
putting it
point.
out there.
Their foot's
you
in
know?
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So How I Met Your Masi, May 30th.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to be YouTube. It's only one show. Is there more shows coming up? Like, what is the schedule like?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's going to be one night only.
May 30th.
Yeah, May 30th is the day to see it.
p.m.
Like we said, obviously the live stream is a really great part to keep it evergreen so that you can watch it after. Right now, the video on
This
demand
is
would
a
be
global
available after.
event.
Yeah, yeah.
Global event.
It's
All
anybody
the
can
aunties
tune in.
and uncles in India, you can tune in.
You can tune in. You can watch it. And then from there, honestly, we'll see. You know, like Lily said, obviously the goal right now is to make it a TV series, but we've also toyed with the idea of like taking it on tour. Like
Yeah.
that could be a fun way that we could keep it going. So I think it's like May 30th, and then we'll see.
Yeah.
You know?
And for May 30th, we have an incredible lineup of guest stars. And
Who's on
so
it?
who knows?
Who's on? Name some
We'll
names.
name
drop
drop a
some
little bit.
names. We have Rizwan Manji is in
Trying to
the
get on this
show.
podcast. Tell him to come on the conversation.
He just played my dad in my last short. Yeah.
He's everybody's
Were you in the
dad.
one just this like past weekend?
No. it was a
Okay, he
different
did one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Rizwan,
Who's awesome.
Parvesh Cheena, who's an absolute legend
Yep.
in LA and on TV. Suni M, who starred in ABCD. Anirudh Pisharodi, who's on he was on Never Have I Ever season 2, and also he's currently starring on 911. JT Parr, who has a Netflix special, Chad and JT Go Deep. He's in the comedy world. He's really awesome. We also have Matt Barrett Miller, Achintya Pandey, Devontae Kavanaugh.
big
Who am I
cast.
missing?
Francis.
Francis.
How do you remember all these names? Oh, that's a lot of names. That's
A
awesome.
lot. Yeah, I mean, what's awesome too is like, I mean, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning is all these people are coming from different places, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you've seen them on your screen, but you've also seen them like on your phone or like from the digital space, from the film and TV world, from the stand-up world. Like they're really coming in from lots of different places. And at the same time, we're highlighting like new faces. There's
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
like young actors that we believe in that maybe haven't gotten like any huge credits yet, but we truly believe in them and their comedy. So this is going to be the first time that they're on stage, and we're excited for the audience to get to see them with maybe more seasoned actors.
Yeah.
Terrific.
It's going to be really fun. Our director, Arpita Mukherjee, is really going to find that sort of language that we can all work in as actors, coming from these different backgrounds.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. I also forgot to mention Claire Jackson.
Yes.
Super talented.
Truthfully, it's just like we have such a great team, not just like on stage, but like we mentioned, Punya, and Sarah Espinosa is our photographer as well. Like we just have such a solid, like, team of people that are coming from different backgrounds,
Great.
like racially and like a career wise as well. Like they're just coming from all different places. So this just feels like a real big conglomerate.
Yeah.
And where can people buy tickets?
Dynasty.tv.
For the live stream.
For the live stream. And then if
DynastyTypewriter.com.
yeah,
Great.
that's where you'll find the show. You can also see like on our socials, again, Instagram and
I was gonna say you
TikTok.
have the links in the bios.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll drop
cool.
it, but it's just at How I Met Your Masi, like everywhere.
That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
And what are your personal social medias?
I'm at Lab Hack. We like to call it LABHAC, L-A-B-A-C.
And I'm at Arasha Lalani _.
We're trying to get rid of that underscore though. We're working on
Yeah,
it.
we're trying to drop the Lalani
You
too.
let Instagram know.
Yeah, we're in talks. Don't worry.
There you go. I got you. And I'm at the Pritesh Shah.
And I'm at Tarun Shetty. Thanks so much, Lily Arasha, for coming by. Appreciate it.
That was
Thanks for
awesome.
having us.
This is awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah, good luck with your show. I
Thank
think it's a
you.
huge success.
Yeah, hope to
Yeah.
see you guys there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and remember me when you have your TV pilot.
No. Just like the girls that stop looking at you, they're not gonna think about you. They're
Right.
It's,
Swear to God.
it's over.
Welcome to my life.
Uncle Tarun, beta.
Yeah.
We're
And
gonna have some uncles in the show. We might
Oh,
need
look.
you.
Oh, damn.
why not? Hey,
Maybe some nanas. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I'm desperate.
Oh, damn, son. Time to end it on that.
And thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share. Join us on Patreon, the ConvoSutra. Send this to a friend. Get the word out. We will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cool.
You got such a good intro and closing. You're locked in with that,
Locked
man.
in.
He handles business.